What's up, my man? Dog man, all right. All right, Joe, Cronin, Dewayne Hankins, our leadership, general manager, president. How are you guys doing today?
Good, Lamar.
Good.
How are you?
Good, I'm doing good. I'm really excited about this. There were times during this past season when I would be looking to my right, and I got, of course, Kevin Calabro sitting right next to me, and I would look past him, and I would see on that first row, you two sitting side by side. And I was so excited because I've gotten a chance to get to know you guys over my last 6 years with the team, and I just knew this is gonna be something good. I don't know exactly what that means or what it will look like. I just know it's gonna be really good. So what I wanna know from you guys, because it looked like you guys were getting to know each other really well, do you remember the first time you met? Mm-hmm. What was it like?
It's funny. I mean, honestly, Joe has been with the organization longer than I have. And the first time I met him was kind of the day after he got the job. So he'd been here all this time, I'd been here all this time, and we'd been staying in our own lanes, kind of doing our own thing. And had breakfast together and kind of talked about how we wanted to work together and operate the business. And it was really awesome to kind of get to know somebody in that setting, especially being a new leader myself and being able to talk to someone who's going through a lot of the same things I was.
Is that how you recall it?
Yep, identical.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So we talked, called him on the phone the night before, and then we set up that breakfast the next day. And we've seen each other a bunch since.
Yeah.
That was the first time we had met.
And now you even have him following the dress code, because I mean he'll go with the sport code a lot of the time, but now we got him in the quarter zips.
Yep.
Was that a process? Did it take some time? You got him there?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And if you know me, it's hard to get me to adhere to a dress code, but this guy can do it.
I know. Well, you both look really good in it.
So great time. Johnson, the show and go. Watford for three, laces it.
Your NBA 2K23 Summer League champions, two-time champions now, the Portland Trailblazers.
So I know it's been a really busy summer for you. Just recently, Trailblazers Summer League team won the championship there in Vegas. Before that, you got the draft, you got free agency. How has the summer been for you, overseeing all of that?
Well, it's been good. It's been an exciting time for us. You know, last trade deadline in February, we tried to create as many possibilities as we could to where we had all these different tools and exceptions and picks that we could put into play. And it all sounded good in February where, okay, we have all this flexibility and all this potential, but actually filling all those spots that we were hoping to was extremely exciting for us. So, you know, we got through free agency and the draft, and then we get into Summer League and we had a bunch of roster guys playing in that, and it was great to see them play the style of basketball that Chauncey wants to play.
Also on the pick and rolls, you see they're trying to send you right. That's cool, just keep it high, change the angle of the screen.
Where we were the best defense in Summer League. We were really competitive, really engaged throughout, played team ball, and that culminated with the championship. So it was a neat teaser and hopefully a good first step to what our regular roster can do once they're playing Chauncey's brand of ball.
Were those your expectations going into the summer? Like, did you expect to put together a Summer League team that can come together that fast and be at a Summer League championship level?
We thought, because we had so many roster guys playing and because they all had such good, they had a lot of playing time experience throughout the end of the regular season. Then that whole group had a great spring where they worked really hard and worked together a lot and just really consistent day to day. We thought that they would bring that mentality to Summer League, and they did. Where even, the game one, we were a little shaky, but they didn't flinch and just kept their defensive intensity and really played well the last 4 games of that event.
Yeah. And Dewayne, I know you got a chance to check out the team a little bit in Summer League. What were some of your thoughts as you watched all the action?
Well, yeah, I'm learning a lot about this from Joe. He invited me to the draft combine and got to see some of these guys, invited me to some of the draft workouts. So it was really fun to be behind the scenes and learning from someone like Joe about how that part of the business operates and what they're doing. Summer League team was fun. And I remember also having a streak like that during the season where the team rattled off 4 games in a row and they were playing the same exact way. So it's a very different style of basketball, I think, from what I know, than what we've previously played. But I know our fans could get really excited about it because the guys are just giving 100% effort, really trying hard. And you got to see that in January and at Summer League, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of the fans and stuff that they can get excited over, Summer League, Jabari Walker, already a fan favorite, hasn't even played a regular season game. Is he basically what you thought? Has he exceeded what you thought he would be?
Well, you never know going into Summer League how a rookie, especially coming straight from the draft like that, how they're going to fare. So for him to be so solid and productive that quickly was a surprise for us. You know, we obviously believe in him and trust his talent, but for him to come out and be really not have an off night in those 5 nights there and get some real things done, and a lot of different things done, whether it was with his defense, his shooting, his passing, his ball handling a little bit. Like, he just showed us the whole array of what he's capable of, and that's just really hard to do for any 19-year-old that's at that level of basketball, let alone, you know, a second-round pick 19-year-old.
Yeah, and then the other rookie, Shaedon Sharpe. Everybody cannot wait to see him get out there, but also, you know, Rip City fans want to know about the person as well. What have you come to find about Shaedon and just who he is as a young man?
Shaedon's it's been fun getting to know him. He's got a really good, engaging personality. He has quietness to him, and, you know, it might take a little while to get to know him, but really fun to be around, really sweet guy. We were lucky we had him basically from when the draft ended all the way up till the start of Summer League, where he was in our building, so we were able to see him, you know, every day, and the work ethic and his dedication to his craft that he exhibited was really impressive and really encouraging.
2 fresh faces there. Also, Gary Payton II, and then Jeremy Grant coming in. How excited are you about those guys?
Extremely excited. I mean, with Jeremy, it's somebody that we tried to make a trailblazer for a while now. You know, we tried really since I started making calls on Jeremy Grant. So to finally be able to get that trade done was a great day for us. And then a week later to be able to add Gary Payton II to that mix was equally exciting, to where, you know, not just 2 high-level talents, but 2 guys that play the way we want to play.
Yeah. So while Joe was doing all this, Dewayne, and formulating this roster that's going to be ultra competitive, you got to get people ready to come back to this building. We're here in the locker room at Moda Center, and out there on the floor, you know how rabid that fan base can be. What can fans expect just in the experience when they come back to Moda Center this fall?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's exciting about where we're headed is that we think we're through the worst of the pandemic and the COVID piece, right? So we don't anticipate having any restrictions at this time related to fan entry. Really want to get back to reminding fans what's exciting about being here, what's great about coming to games. I think we spent a lot of the last year telling fans what they couldn't do at games and what they couldn't bring. So bringing that energy back, I think, is going to be really, really great. Joe's team's done a phenomenal job of putting a roster together that's going to play the way that fans love, as we talked about, and I think that's really exciting for us. You know, as soon as the Jeremy Grant trade was reported, phone calls started flying, and I think fans understood that this really was a 1-year thing that we were trying to do to get back to a better place than we've ever been before, and so fans really got behind that. And then in other places, you know, our experience should and will feel completely different to any fan who hasn't been here since before the pandemic. If your experience coming to a Blazers game is the same as it was in March of 2020, we haven't done the right thing. So it's going to obviously be a safer experience for fans who are still, concerned about COVID-19. It's going to be a more seamless experience for fans, both with traffic and parking and getting into the arena, and different food options. Every year we try to mix that up and make that a different feel. We're always trying to do different things in terms of game entertainment, not just to get the fans pumped up, but have the fans get the players pumped up. So there's a lot of things that we're looking at in the fan experience, because it's in a lot of ways harder than ever to get fans to leave their houses and come to games, and so we've really got to up our game.
Yeah. I know both of you were promoted internally, which speaks to who you are, who you've been within this organization, the trust that you have developed at an ownership level. So with that, how have you then gone to build your own executive staff? What fresh faces do you have there? What people new to the organization, or just promotions internally? Dewayne, I'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's really exciting about our leadership team, and maybe this happened by accident or on purpose, is you look at someone like Joe or myself or Chauncey or even Dame, and we're all very much leaders who lead by example, who work really hard, put our heads down, really get our work done. we all understand our part on the team, right? Like I understand mine is focused on the business, Joe's understands his on basketball, and we know where we can help each other out, and that part's been really great. So when I thought about how we wanted to build our leadership team on the business side, it was finding people who were similarly aligned to that. So first of all, they got to be smarter than me, because that's important, right? Like they have to bring a level of expertise that I have a blind spot for, and what are they going to do to help our business be stronger? And are they going to push back? If I have an opinion or a thought that isn't the right one in their mind, I want them to be able to speak up in that room.
Well, I got to say, that's important, but not everybody does that. So what is it that allows you to do that and feel comfortable in that space?
I think for me, like we're only as good as we are as a team, right? I mean, basketball is a great example of this. You can have a player on a team that scores 80 points in a game, but they may lose that game if they're not playing as a team. And for us, it's really important that there's things that I can bring as the leader, as the facilitator, but we have to have really smart people who have different perspectives, different viewpoints, different thoughts in the room, because that's how we're going to get to the best answers. It's not going to be me that has the best answer. It's going to be us in the room together that has that best answer. So a lot of the people that have been brought in, our new CRO, Andrea Bailey, I've known her for years working at AEG. I know she brings that level. Kevin Kinghorn, new CMO, brought him in June. He also has that same expertise, same level. He's going to speak up. He knows what he knows. And then the other changes we made in the organization have just been to get people who align with that value set.
Awesome. And then Joe, 3 new assistant general managers hired here recently, other new faces. What can you tell me about your staff?
Yeah, we've consistently been building and adding staff throughout, really since I started. You know, the first person we hired was Andre Patterson, our first assistant GM. We got him in January. A critical addition for us, and Andre is just so good in so many areas, helping with basketball decisions, helping with leadership, helping with managing, just super well-rounded and versatile. And from there, we just continued to build, where we've added and bulked up numerous departments. I mean, some of our big points of emphasis, when I say ours, like communicating with Jody and Bert, and like the areas that we really wanted to grow out, where we wanted to get much stronger in medical. So we've done a lot of additions there, and also in analytics. So we've revamped that department, and we've added a bunch of new employees and added to the budget, and also hired an assistant GM who's really strong analytically in Sergi Olivia. So between those 2 areas, we've really bulked those up. And then we added a third assistant GM, Mike Schmitz, who's been terrific so far.
How'd you get him, Joe?
So
people wanted this guy for a long time.
Yeah. I think we got him through our reputation. I didn't know Mike super well. I just knew him in passing. And same with Chauncey. They knew each other a little bit because Chauncey had worked at ESPN for a short time. But I think it was once Mike got to know the people in our organization and what we're about and what we stand for, like that was his buy-in. Like he wanted to know what we were, and he wanted to be a part of our group. So for us, it was a big compliment that, you know, he chose us knowing he had other options and he wasn't in a rush. So obviously a key addition for us, and Mike's going to really revamp our scouting and, you know, make us a global scouting organization where we're, you know, going to be all over the place and hopefully leave no stone unturned.
Yeah. You said Coach Chauncey Billup's name. What are your conversations like with Coach as you are structuring the team?
Consistent. You know, I think we have a really good dialogue and a really good demeanor between each other, where we can bounce ideas off of each other and be creative and explore different angles and thoughts. And it's funny, we just tend to agree for the most part on, you know, not just style of play or what it takes to win basketball games, but all the way down to staffing. Like, you know, we'll each interview a person individually that we're looking at, and then come back and share notes and be like, yep, you know, you saw that too, or I agree, or yep, she's perfect, or he's perfect. And so it's a lot of just, you know, consistent communication, and it's something we've been trying to ramp up throughout our organization, but it starts with us too, where we have to be on the same page. And the cool thing about Chauncey, you know, as a coach, he doesn't get stuck in his niche, where he loves taking on all these extra things, and he wants to be a part of the building and growth that we're doing throughout the organization, not just in the practice facility, but, you know, in helping with Dewayne and Ashley and their side, where he's just unique that way, where he just really cares about all these different parts, and he knows how important every person is.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Because to me, what you just touched on is kind of the character traits and the leadership traits that I think all of you embody. So I'm talking about you two, Coach Billups, and then Damian Lillard as the franchise leader. We know in today's day of sports, it's not always filled with a group like that, always on the same page. I think what we have here in this organization is very special. How do you guys feel about it when you think about it and the way you all think about things together to come to a place of unison of what's best for the team?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think, it's a lot of companies deal with this, even outside of sports. But if you look at sports teams, you have the business side, you have the basketball side. They both have very specific goals. Business side is driving revenue, community impact, all those things. And then the basketball side is traditionally like, let's put the best team on the court as possible. And that's always going to be the most important goal. But when you can work together on those things and have community support that's grounded in what's great for the players, what's great for the fans, what's great for the community, that's a home run. When you can have, whether it's revenue opportunities or other things come up that are really together as a business and a basketball side, that works really well. I mean, if you think about a big tech company, it's great to have an awesome product and maybe it sells itself, but if you have a really good team on the business side, they can help market it and produce it and get it out there and tell the story. It's only going to help enhance everything that's going on. And what I really feel really lucky about in this situation is that we have a basketball group that totally understands that. We respect the parts of the business that we bring to. And honestly, to Jody, it's incredibly important that we operate as a business in that way. And another one of the hirings that we made and changes was to put Ashley Klingscale as our chief impact and chief communications and impact officer. And if you think of our two businesses as a Venn diagram, Ashley's right in the middle of that, making sure business and basketball are staying in great contact. And the way that we're organized, I think, really just sets us up well for that.
Yeah. So Jody Allen, you just mentioned her name. How active has she been in allowing you guys to do all of these things, all these staff changes and this vision that you have? How much has she enabled your success there?
Oh, immensely. I mean, 2 weeks into my tenure here, I had made a big staffing proposal. Here's the additions we'd like to make. Here's some changes. Here's some budgeting increases that we're recommending. And just immediately engaged, immediately approved it. Was constant dialogue about some of the candidates and just beyond interested in, who we were adding. Wanted to make a strong emphasis on adding, being diverse, adding more women, adding different thoughts and different styles and different ways of thinking about things. We wanted to be way more forward thinking in our approach. And she really pushed us throughout. And you could see, all the hiring that we've done, each step along the way, like it was her idea to add a team psychologist. And that's been really impactful for us already with Dr. Green. So each step along the way. And then when I became GM in May, told her it would help us to add 2 more assistant GMs, and that's a big ask. And, I had to lay it out for her, like we need to bump up our scouting. We need to keep ramping up our analytics. And these 2 people can help with that. Approved, go get them. Like super supportive and all of the staffing stuff. And, you get into the roster stuff where, we've been so active, have made so many trades and additions and, took a pretty risky pivot in February and just consistent dialogue where, there were times when I would email or call numerous times a day and was extremely responsive, always right on top of it throughout that whole process. And those can get, the trade deadline can be 2 weeks straight every day up till 10 p.m. at night where something's going on. And she's right there for us whenever we needed her. And then we got into the Jeremy Grant trade, which happened, I think, was it 2 days before the draft or a day before the draft?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And we weren't going to execute the trade until after the moratorium ended, which was July 6th. So she's on the phone with myself, Troy Weaver from Detroit, Arn Tellem from Detroit, and we're hammering out the final details of the deal. Like Jody's on the phone doing those things. So as far as her engagement, it's a big misconception that she isn't engaged. Like, she's more than engaged and really enjoys this and really cares about this team.
Wow, thank you for the insight. One thing you brought up there was Dr. Chantel Green, who I got a chance to get to know this past year a little bit and watch her work. So that was Jody Allen,
Yep.
who came to you and said, I think we need this.
Yep, that's right.
Wow, that's a big deal. Mental health and just guys' well-being is something that's been more of a topic of discussion in professional sports as of late, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and it shows you the pulse that Jody has of the organization and of, any industry, but particularly in ours, in sports, how critical that is to, not only a player's success on the court, but off of it. And she saw that gap in our organization, and we immediately fixed it.
Wow, that is awesome. Both of you guys in this new role, I'm sure there's a lot being thrown at you all the time, some of which you maybe anticipated, some which has maybe been new. Is there anything that sticks out to you as this, and Dewayne, I'm feeling like you got like a list of 10 things going down your mind.
I can't
right
wait
now.
to hear the end of this.
Well, is there anything that sticks out in your mind of a moment that you've been in a job so far over this past year where you've thought, I did not see that coming? Or now that was quite a surprise?
I think the way that this role started, I'm honestly not surprised with every phone call or text or email or article that comes out. And I think, but it's because we are such a big piece of this community and such a big part of this city, and people care so much about the Blazers. And so one thing we always talk about is we have fans that call us or reach out to us and they love everything we've done, and we have fans that reach out and they hate everything we've done. And that's good, because when they stop reaching out, like, that's when you've lost people. And I've worked in other markets where they're just not as big, they're just not as important to the city as the Blazers are. So I'll take that passion any day, and then with that passion comes all the things that surround it. And these roles are a bit of a fishbowl, like that's the role, and that's how that's just something I feel like I knew getting into the role, like, okay, if I'm going to do this, this is what this means. And I'm sure it's even amplified more for you. So,
Any surprises on your end there, Joe?
Yeah, consistent little surprises, 10 a day where you're just like, oh, wow, oh, really? Oh, or wasn't expecting that one. Yeah. So, but nothing like super glaring other than the consistency of the minor chaos throughout our day-to-day lives.
Yeah. Would you equate it in a way to the difference of going from the lead assistant coach chair to the head coach chair?
Yeah, to where I've said this a few times, you think you're ready, but you don't have any idea. Like, until you slide one more over, it's just a whole new set of responsibilities and, questions and decisions about how to lead or how to shape the roster or who to hire or, all these different decisions that you have to get into. And until you are the ones making those decisions and you have to see every single angle versus, when you're a scout or whatever, no, you should propose that trade. But, it's easy to say that from the scout team, that you don't have to think of everything. You're just thinking player for player. You might be ignoring the cap, or you might be ignoring the relationship. There's just so much that you have to account for. And that you got to be really mature about it.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been navigating it well. What drives you? What is it that gets you up and going to accomplish the jobs you're setting out to accomplish?
Winning. Putting the best team possible onto the floor, but also winning, as an organization, doing the right things inside and outside of this building. Whether it's, being a productive, profitable business and being a great example in the community and winning, with our staff, seeing our employees thrive and go on, to better things, hopefully within this organization, but even if it's outside of here. Like, all those encompass winning, and I think that's what drives us, and I think that's why we get along so well. We're all similarly consumed with winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you agree, Dewayne?
It's a fantastic answer.
It really
I don't
was.
have a better one than that. That's exactly how I feel.
Well, I've heard you, Dewayne. I heard you put something in words a few months ago that I felt that way, but I never worded it this way. And you were speaking about the role you feel the Trailblazers play to not only the Portland community, but Oregon. We are Oregon's team, and then the greater community beyond that. The Trailblazers have fans worldwide. And you mentioned something to the effect of, it's almost like you feel like we have to operate as a for-profit and a non-profit at the same time. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we can't just be a business that, with winning as our central goal, you can't just be a business that thinks about revenue and profit and loss. You have to think about your greater experience that you have in this community, and there is an expectation that we have as a business in this community to have a really high value set, which I think is different than most businesses. So, you know, not only do we have to run a business that we internally can be proud of, but we need to be able to have a team on the court or a team in the community that our region, our fan base, all Blazers fans can be proud of. And that's where it feels, you know, just a bit more than just a business. Like, you have to have a mission and a vision that's beyond just, you know, being profitable every day.
Yeah, well said. All right, in your limited time away from work, what do you guys like to do just for fun? What is Joe doing to hang out and just have some fun?
Spending time with my wife, and we have 3 dogs, so they keep us busy. So,
Okay.
But they're our world, and we like to just we usually take it easy, but keep them entertained, which doesn't always involve taking it easy.
Yeah, I bet. And how about you, Dewayne?
Definitely family, but I think I also like time away, out in the woods.
Yeah, you like to be off the grid. Where you don't get texts or voice call. You don't get anything. No service.
He knows where the dead spots are.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, I think I recharge in those situations. Like, for me, a run in Forest Park where I can just think about all the 10 surprises I got earlier that day or the day before. It's a really good place for me. It's like my mecca to kind of recharge.
Okay, all right. Well, I mentioned that we are here at Moda Center, and as I was pulling in today, I saw this huge crane, like hovering over right between Veterans Memorial and Moda Center. What's going on with that?
Yeah, we're replacing the roof. So it's a big project that Jody approved us doing, but there's a lot of stuff at this building that is at life. It's the original roof from the building, so it needs to get replaced. There'll be a project that goes on throughout the summer. You might see a little bit this fall. Obviously, I have to navigate it while we're also doing concerts and things like that, but this was the time of year to do it in Oregon because there's not a lot of rain. And there's more projects coming, so a lot happening down at the practice facility. There's a lot of projects in the arena. We'll be talking about the end zone steel and the bowl. There's lots of changes to be done there because it's getting to the point where this building is starting to show its age a little bit, and so we got to stay on top of it and keep making these investments.
Okay, all right, fellas, we got to end with just a little more of a get to know you type of questions, I should say. So I'm gonna run through a few questions, all right, and I don't want to put you I don't want to give you a time limit, but I want you to answer as quickly as you can because I want it to be fully authentic. All right? So, Dewayne, I'll come to you first. Do you have a pregame ritual?
Talking to Joe before we go out on the court.
I don't, other than try to be on time.
Okay. So there's not like something you do before every game you feel like? Neither for you? Just go with the flow?
Yep.
Post-game ritual?
No.
No. Same thing?
I usually can't sleep right away, so it's probably watching some TV to wind down and then go to bed.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna flip this now. I want you to answer this about Joe. Where did Joe grow up?
Colorado, Denver.
And where did Dewayne grow up?
Chicago.
Oh, look at y'all. Y'all really are friends. It's real. Okay, now normally this is a binary question, all right? It's either dog or cat. But what I want to know, are you a dog person? Joe, you kind of already answered this. Cat person, other, neither, or both. So you have more options.
I'm dog.
Okay, dog only? Okay.
I'm a dog because imagine the biggest dog there is and then make that a cat, and that is dangerous for everybody. So I'm a dog.
Wait a minute. Rewind the tape. Wait.
I don't know if we can say that.
Wait. What was the rationale behind that?
That's why I'm not a cat person.
Wait, you're a dog person.
Imagine a massive cat running around. I mean, it's like a tiger.
It would be terrible. Yeah, it wouldn't be alive.
All right, hold on. Because I've known you for 6 years. I've never heard anything. Wait, did y'all understand what was just said? Dwayne, you have to repeat that, please.
No, I mean, I don't trust cats. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
So you
So if
got
you saw-
a dog, and they're cute in all sizes, and then you think of the biggest dog, and there's big dogs, and you make a cat that
You
size.
think the cat would attack you?
It would attack you.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, there's no.
It wouldn't
chance.
even be
You
nice.
You wouldn't be
There's big,
allowed
nice
to have
dogs.
it in your house.
But there's big,
They-
nice dogs, though.
What?
There's like big dogs that are nice. How come there can't
Yeah,
be
I
a big
agree.
cat
I
that's
agree.
nice?
I'm not saying there's not nice big dogs.
Wait, so how do
have
you
you seen
feel-
a nice big cat?
Yes, Blaze. Blaze is the nicest.
That's fair.
big
That
cat.
was the exception.
All right, Blaze is the exception. All right. Gentlemen, this was fun. Thank you for spending the time with me today. And I'm really excited for our fans to continue to get a chance to know you. Because like I said, I've gotten a chance to know you guys, and I've never been more excited. And I am sure they will feel the same way as time goes on and we continue to learn more and see more. And we're all excited for basketball coming up soon. So thank you.
Thanks, Lamar.
Yeah.